Dr. Snow used the fragmented thigh bone to determine the victim's height.
Now, in this case, it was complicated by the fact that we didn't have the complete bones. We only had portions of these upper femurs, but we still have formulas that enable us to get fairly reasonable height estimates, even from fragments.
Dr. Snow, using little more than a portion of female pelvis, came up with some remarkable conclusions.
Basically, based on my examination, I could say that this person was a white female who was about 28 to 40 years of age at the time of her death. She was about 5'3", plus or minus, say 3 inches in height, around 125 to 145 pounds in weight. And those same pelvic bones showed some features that indicated that she was in an active exercise program, did a lot of sit-ups. She had been dismembered or with a saw, fairly heavy-bladed saw, and there were some indications that the person who did the dismemberment had some basic anatomical knowledge.
Of the 79 women missing in the state of Iowa, only one fit Dr. Snow's description. She was a 33-year-old housewife named Joyce Clint. At 5 feet 5 inches in height, weighing 128 pounds, she was a perfect match in age, height, and weight. She was also known to exercise strenuously and was married to one of the most prominent chiropractors in the area.
From her experience and the marks, the tool marks on the edges of the bones, determines that's a hacksaw that's been used to cut through the bones. So she advised the police, we might have a homicide on our hands. Could they please go back to where they found the bones and get everything that was at the scene, all the other bones that are missing if they could, and anything else, clothing, anything they could find. So a couple days later, the police come back with a couple of big bags of materials they found at the scene, branches and leaves and a few bones. And as a doc, we even found some jellyfish. First, she's able to determine that the jellyfish aren't jellyfish, but are 2 plastic breast implants, which she cleans off and finds these are all numbered by the manufacturer. The police were able to trace back the implant number to a woman named Karen Carter.
Historians believed that the mummy was an outlaw named Elmer McCurdy, shot in a gunfight in 1911. Using a technique called medial superimposition, scientists compared his picture taken at the time of his death and the skull of the funhouse mummy. They matched perfectly. After 60 years, Elmer McCurdy was no longer just an anonymous sideshow attraction in a house of horrors. Forensic science had given him a name and a face.